Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and Ark has released its Thanksgiving update, which is actually, well, I'm just going to say it ahead of time. There is some news that made me cry, which I got super excited about, and I just know that I've met some people in the past that are going to feel awesome about this, and then it also introduces you to the other side of the Ark community that is super toxic and whiny. So let's go ahead and dive into this Thanksgiving update. If you've played Ark on Thanksgiving or in this update before, you have 100% run into the Super Turkey. Now, right here, you can see this terrifying little destroyer of worlds, the Super Turkey. When they first released them, people didn't have overpowered dinosaurs. Yeah, the Super Turkey was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Because what he was capable of, this thing had thousands of health and did tons of damage and was almost impossible to kill in the first year that Ark came out. It was wiping entire bases. It was hilarious. But that was just some fun. So what is the turkey trial for? So basically you can see they introduced two new tames that aren't normally in the game. A super turkey, i.e. this guy, he literally is about this big. And they have much higher levels than most other tames, making them very difficult to kill. And then you can also spawn in and kill the dodorexs. Now, the dodorexs obviously is a super terrifying tame. Killing it is worth your while, and then killing these guys is also worth your while because you will receive special benefits for said thing. If you kill these guys, you get wishbones. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So the actual event itself runs from November 24th to December 8th. Now, on November 24th, they're also introducing a huge number of game updates, anything from increased DDoS protection to also issues with the Xbox. So I know a lot of people have complained about that. It's coming. It's on its way. Give it a minute. But what is it going to be? So they are doubling the already doubled event. Now, for those of you that are like, what does that even mean? Original Ark was 1x. They doubled it again to make it easier. They doubled it again, and then recently they doubled it again. So Ark now is 2 times whatever your server rate is. If you are playing on this event, you're going to get 2x pretty much everything, which is pretty cool because it just increases the stuff that you can do in the game, and it makes it for newer people more fun because they can actually get some stuff done and at least feel like they're accomplishing things. That's just an awesome rate-based thing. Here's those things we talked about, the event creatures, and then here's the new skins. You can see there's some new ones, some that have been here for quite a while, but the sweater skins, swimsuit skins, and Hawaiian shirt skins seem to be something they're kind of moving towards in every release. There's a lot of Hawaiian shirts and swimwear being released. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe it's got something to do with Genesis. I don't know. Now, obviously, you've got the really cool event chibis as well. These are 5 new ones. The Broodmother Tuso. The Broodmother's really interesting. This is the first boss chibi. I wonder if it's going to be just like Gigantor. But I don't know. Bonnet Otter, Mantis, and Dunkleosteus, which is all pretty cool. The event items themselves, you can see these, the wishbones, killing super turkeys. And then Thanksgiving Dino Candy, which is going to paint your dino and give it a speed boost, which is very popular for use in PvP because it gives you an additional, it's like 15%-ish speed boost on your dinosaur. So if you're having any sort of PvP, you get extra 15% and someone else doesn't. See you later. Nothing they can do about it. Now, also, they added in some new colors. This is one thing I'm starting to notice with Ark that I'm not really sure what to think. Because right here, you can see it. These are brand new colors in the game, or at least for the event. Things that you don't normally get, like the midnight blue, the dark violet, I'm really curious in. It's kind of like that galaxy theme colors is what I'm seeing here. So I'm kind of curious. Like Black Sands is also a new color. And I want to know what these are going to be because I love the mutation aspect of the game and getting some of those cool colors, and I'm curious to see what happens here. Now, this isn't true black, so keep that in mind. This is, I want to say it's like 05 or something like that. 79 is true black, so they didn't bring out true black for this event. That's usually just for Halloween, I think. But that's kind of that. Now, here is something that made me cry. For those of you that haven't seen this yet, right here over on the Valguero map, you can see that gamers sometimes squabble over little things like which console is better. The Ark community is nonetheless a tightly knit community. For the most part, those of you that don't agree with that, you're probably in the small minority because a majority of the Ark community is very, very open and friendly with each other. So it's not surprising that when the community loses one of its own, fellow players are eager to reach out and honor that player when they have passed away. Now, right here, check this out. Over the years, we have received some very touching messages from players who have lost fellow tribe members, family members, friends, and shared loved ones. They read a story about a player on Reddit who lost his lovely wife Heather, and then created a little bit of a shrine on Valguero, her favorite map, and then shared the screenshot with the community. Now, that is amazing. First off, I am so sorry for this guy, and I'm so sorry for anyone that's lost loved ones. I know that it is awful, and I know people have lost friends and things like that while playing this game, and it is a miserable experience. There's nothing that can replace it, but though I guess Ark doesn't have a tendency to fix some of the glitches quickly, they have a tendency to do things and create skins and create events and stuff like that that make people smile. So over at the community, they created a little bit of a shrine that I am going to go check out over on Valguero for those who have ascended. Now, this is amazing. I can't state it enough. This is awesome. It's so much more than a game to some people. And adding this kind of stuff in is just so very cool in my opinion. Because I don't know, it just gives me goosebumps because the Ark community is an awesome community. There are some toxic members. There's nothing you can do about that. But for the most part, a majority of Ark players are really awesome. And when you talk about Ark in real life and someone else plays, they're like, oh, dude, what do you have? Or dude, what do you got? And it's just fun. So seeing something like this just makes me smile. So I think kudos to Ark and kudos to everything they've done. This is a really cool event. Now, moving on to some other things that are kind of more game related, the DDoS mitigation. I know that a lot of people, this is ever since Arks started, basically what it means is someone DDoSes a server network or a person, and it's, for lack of a better word, I'll describe it. It's called the distributed denial of service. And all it means is that you are unable to connect to the internet because they have basically shut your internet connection down. Or in the case of this, where a server is being hosted, they'll shut that down. And that does happen. It's happened on unofficials. It happens on officials because some people are super toxic and do that kind of stuff. I know it's hard to believe, but it really does happen pretty regularly. People don't like losing their hard work, and I think this is a way to go about it. So it happens on PC, Xbox, PS4. Nothing you can really do about it because it's very simple to do. There are literally apps people can download and do it, which is so frustrating. But that's kind of that. Now, another thing they released on their official networks, not on official, is coming out now. Character loss caused by rollbacks and auto restoration. Basically, this allows characters, if you've never had this happen before, lucky you, I've had it happen. What'll happen is basically you transfer to a new server and that server has a rollback, but it has a rollback before it has time to save. So basically your character poofs into thin air because it doesn't ever exist because it never really started on that server. Now what happens with that is basically they've created a program or added something in that allows that character to be replaced, which is super cool. That's something that they've already had on their official networks and they're trying to roll out to everything else. You can see this. I know a lot of people have had the every 30 minutes you're basically getting a disconnect for some players. It's not all players, it's just some. I've heard some players don't have any issues at all, so I don't know the issue reliant with that. But they're fixing it on the 24th, so on Tuesday. So pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff. And then if you haven't played their beginner servers, they reset every 8 weeks. That's just their normal news. You can see it right here. If you got this right here, the 75% off the Explorers Edition, that basically just means that you guys can get a super good sale if you haven't bought some of the DLCs. They're pretty cool. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I have everything, but I love Ark, so that's just me. Some of this art makes me like have nightmares. This Poglin, they had this commissioned, and it scares me. I don't even want to think about that. Bronto's grazing, the parasaurs, some of these cool things. And then you got Mr. Miola bringing in his content. Pretty cool stuff. I'm not going to read the comments, but this is where I kind of like stopped reading because you get some people that are like, hey man, this is awesome news. Kudos to Ark. And then you get the other super toxic people that are like, fix my game, blah, 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 blah. Probably all of 3 years old or 4 years old and can't handle themselves not being the center of attention, but oh well. Anyways, hopefully this video helps you out. Kind of an update for the Turkey Trial 4. And hopefully you have fun. And if there's anything you want to mention in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you. All right, teach out.